So today I wanted to do a sewing tutorial of how to make these scrub caps. It's a very basic shape. There's a little elastic in the back with a tie, and it's just this straight skull cap style. So I am a medical student and I'm interested in a surgical subspecialty. So I've been in operating rooms a lot, spent a lot of time in them, and sometimes you just want like a little bit of personality because all hospitals have you wear these for your hair coverings, something like this, and it's basically a really thin shower cap. My hospital's scrubs, the issued scrubs, are the exact same color, so when you put everything on, you just basically look like a big blue Smurf or, I don't know, cotton candy or something. So not the greatest look. I decided to make one of these for myself. I found these really pretty fabrics online. The company is Art Gallery Fabrics. This isn't sponsored, but I just was really happy with like all the selection. This was the first one I made, so I kind of experimented a bit, but I streamlined it, and I'm going to now make this one in green. This one is for my friend who had requested one. Her hospital scrubs are green, so I thought this would match really perfectly. This is actually the exact like color scheme and design that had popped into my head when she asked, so I thought it was really cool that I found it. And this tutorial is based off of another YouTuber's instructions, but for hers I just had a hard time following. I had to rewatch it quite a few times to get the gist of it, because I'm still kind of a basic sewer. So I hope this video is able to help some other people follow along a little more simply. And I also used that person's basic pattern as well, but edited the measurements a bit because I have a pretty big head, and I know that my friend has really voluminous curly hair. This fits like ponytails and everything. So let's jump right in. So other than a sewing machine, you'll need the pattern. I'll show you guys the actual measurements later. I like having a contrasting color thread to the fabric. It just adds a bit more dimension and makes it a little cuter, but it's up to you. You'll need a few inches of elastic. This is a braided type. You'll also need a really small safety pin, a measuring tape, and scissors, of course, to cut your fabric. Finally, some very useful but optional tools are a rotary cutter, a self-healing mat, and an erasable fabric pen. For the pattern, there are two parts to it. The first is this top part of the hat. It's just one single piece. And then there is the side piece. This is just a half of it, and the taller side you'll put along the fold. So it'll become one long part of the fabric that wraps around the head. So of course you'll just cut out the fabric pieces. I've been really loving my rotary cutter. It's just been really great to cut around curves, and it makes it much easier than using scissors. The top part of the hat requires some ironing. This will be the band that holds the elastic. So about halfway on the curve of the side piece, you'll start ironing down the seam. I just find it easier to iron things first. And then on the corners of what will be the band eventually, just fold down the corners to eliminate some bulk. And then that will be folded in half and iron again. So then switch your machine to a zigzag stitch and then start sewing along the curve, and then just keep continuing down the folded part of the band. Also want to go back and go over the inner edge of the headband piece, but otherwise this is how it turns out. Then going back to the top part of the hat, you'll do a straight stitch and create the casing for the elastic. cut 3 inches of elastic and secure the safety pin to one of the ends, and then just carefully thread it through the casing in the top part of the hat that you just made. And just a tip, when the elastic on the one side gets to the end, just secure it with a pin so that you don't lose it in the middle of the casing. And just continue scrunching and threading the rest through until the safety pin shows up on the other end. Then just use a small straight stitch on either end to secure the elastic in place. Now it's time to sew the 2 pieces together. Put them right sides touching. So at the top where the forehead would eventually be, I marked the middle of both sides and put them together and pinned them securely. Otherwise, I didn't use pins for the rest of it just because of the sharp curve. I found it easier just to freely bring the sides together as I sewed. I went over the top part of the hat twice just for extra strength. And that's basically it. Now all I have to do is turn it inside out and it's all done. Now to put it on, I think it's easiest to start from the front. I prefer to flip up the headband just personally and just secure all your baby hairs. I have a lot, so I couldn't get everything, but that's basically it. And secure with 1 or 2 ties and you're done. And that's it. Now, a lot of hospitals will still have you wear the usual coverings on top, but I think that's okay, especially when you're just running around switching caps. Your hair will still be retained and everything. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for those of you who want to make these yourself. Let me know if you are planning to make your own, and I'd love to see it. So yeah, thanks for watching.